Hello class 6, welcome back to my class. Take out page number 36, topic public buildings. Today we will be learning about the public buildings that existed in the Indus Valley civilization. At Mohenjo-daro, which means Mound of Dead in Sindhi. Sindhi is a community and a religion as well. Mohenjo-daro in Sindh is known as the Mound of Dead. The most remarkable feature was the Great Bath. So basically Mohenjo-daro was known popularly for the structure Great Bath. It was situated within the citadel. You know, the upper part of the city was called citadel. It resembled a large swimming pool measuring 55 by 33 meters, means 55 meter was the length and 33 meter was the breadth. A flight of steps led down into the pool at two ends. So the depth was such that it needed stairs to get down into the pool. Broad corridors on four sides with a number of rooms surrounded the pool. So there were broad corridors, as you can see here in the picture. Broad corridors on four sides. So corridors were surrounded by all the four sides of the pool. It is the finest specimen of engineering skills of the Indus people. So this is considered as one of the finest engineering skills of the Indus Valley people. You minutely see each and every picture. There you will find the details of art, how beautifully things were crafted. In Harappa, archaeologists have found a great granary. You know a granary, a place where grains are stored, located in the citadel. So there was a great granary as well in the citadel. It consisted of two similar blocks. Each block had 6 halls, which were further divided into small rooms. So the blocks in the granary were divided into small rooms and compartments with openings for ventilation. Yes, so to allow the flow of air, ventilations and openings were made. The experts were so skilled, don't you see that? The largest granary was found in Mohenjo-daro. Close to the granaries at Harappa, circular brick platforms have been found. So, circular brick platforms were also found in the granaries, or the closer to Mohenjo-daro, in the granaries there. According to the archaeologists, these were used for threshing grain. So, there are different steps like threshing, winnowing and harvesting, where the stalk from the grain is separated. Like for example wheat. First wheat is sown and then it is reaped, harvested. Winnowing is a process where the impurities are blown off by air. Similarly, threshing, where the stalks are separated from the grains. Grain was brought by boats along the rivers. Here you can see the use of river. I had given you have to write 5 uses of rivers. You can see here one of the uses, that rivers were used for transporting grains. The grain collected as tax was safely secured. So this grain was collected as tax because money did not exist then, to be used in times of crisis like floods or famine. So this grain was stored for emergency situations. The granaries proved that the land was fertile as extra grain was produced and stored. Since the land was fertile, there were abundant grains and the surplus grains were stored in the Granaries. Now I will like to tell you more about the public buildings of Harappa. Harappa is located near Ravi River. If you see the map, there you can see Harappa civilization is located near the Ravi River, which is a tributary of the upper Indus region. So Ravi River is a tributary of Indus River. What is a tributary? A tributary is a branch of another river. For example, this is a river, so it has some more branches like this. So these will be known as the tributaries. Yes, this is the main river. This is the main river, I'm sorry. And these are its branches, which can be called tributaries, that you will learn in geography. The most prominent feature of Harappan era architecture is the drainage system. Yes, in the town planning as well, I had told you the drainage system of Harappa. It shows how important cleanliness meant to the people. Why? Because the drains were not only made, but the drains were covered from above, you know, so that there that it did not become a breeding ground for insects like flies and whatever. It shows how important cleanliness was for them, and it was achieved through by having a series of drains running along the streets. So there were series of drains, there were a number of drains that ran along the streets that connected to larger sewer in the main streets. So from the smaller streets, the the drains from the smaller streets connected to the larger drains in the main street. As if you can find in cities, you have seen manholes. Those are huge drains, and where do they get connected from? They all are connected with smaller drains that collect feces and waste from households, no, and then it gets connected to that larger sewage. Smaller drains from household toilets and bathing areas connected to these larger drains, which had corbelled roofs, means the drains were covered from the roof above, like this was the drain, yes, and it was covered from top, alright, so that the waste did not overflow up to the roads, which had covered roofs so that they could be buried underneath. So this drain was buried underneath this roof and the main streets. Some sections had removable brick pavings, and in some sections of the streets, the drains had removable paving bricks, where the bricks were not cemented, they were not attached, yes, and they could be removed when cleaning was required. So they could remove the brick and they could replace it back after cleaning, and dressed stones on top. So they had put stones on top, allowing the cleaning when required. And when you see present day drainage system, you can see open drains everywhere, no, the waste is on the roads, and the roads are dirty, filthy, because of the sewage coming on the roads. The drains are not covered these days, but this such ancient civilization had great architectural skills, it had great expertise, they gave importance to the minute details to keep the city as clean as possible. Larger public buildings include both public spaces such as markets. Yes, the public buildings included spaces such as markets, squares where people could gather, and four ways, chauraha, kind of squares, yeah, and courtyards. Courtyards are angan. You have courtyard at your home now, but then courtyards used to be in the public spaces. And administrative buildings included granaries. So the granaries were a part of administrative buildings. The Great Hall or Great Bath structure is a prominent prominent feature, it's a prominent example. And this great bath, it served during religious purpose and social functions. When there used to be social functions, or when people take religious bath before they worship, you can see there is a big river in front of golden temple, no, in Amritsar, where people wash their hands and feet. It is a source of water. You can say it's a big pool that serves as a religious purpose